Hello everyone, it's Lisa and welcome to the first weekly reading vlog that I'm doing for the Bts Readathon. So it's actually technically the second week of the readathon, but I was doing a vlog for Chain of Gold the first week, which I'm still reading, but we'll talk about that in a second. So I didn't vlog the first week, but I think I'm going to be vlogging the rest of the month. So the Bts Readathon is a month-long readathon, so if you want to join in still, there's definitely time, and I will leave the information for it down below in the description. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be vlogging. This is going to be the second week of the Bts Readathon, and I'm very excited. We also have the Grammys this Sunday, which couldn't have been more perfect coinciding with the Bts Readathon. If BTS don't win the Grammy, then it's just gonna be sad.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
But they better. So we will be recording my reactions and watching that together and hoping BTS win. So for a kind of reading update to catch you up on what I've been doing the first week of the BTS Readathon, like I said, I was reading Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. Did I say Chain of Gold before? It's Chain of Iron, which as you can tell, I am still reading. I have about like 170 pages left, so I think my plan is to try and finish this today. I think most of the people that I'm kind of buddy reading this with, like everyone that's reading it right now, I think is either finished or close to being finished. I'm way behind everyone else, so I need to fix that. I need to get caught up. But as you can see, I'm also annotating, and there's a lot of tabs in this book, so I'm annotating as well as doing a vlog for it, so I think that's why it's taking me so long. But yeah, this I am planning to read for the singularity prompt, which is to read a book with either one point of view, which that does not count for, but it's also to read a book with one person on the cover, so that works. So yeah, this is going towards the BTS Readathon, so once this is done, I will have completed a prompt. The first prompt that I've completed, because I'm also reading This Time Will Be Different by, I can't remember the author, Misa Sugiura. I don't know if I'm saying their name right, I really should look it up, but I'm reading that also for the Buzzwordathon, and I think I'm going to count that for the reflection prompt for the BTS Readathon, so it's checking boxes left and right. And technically I think the Buzzwordathon is supposed to be like the first week, like the first 7 days of the month, but if I finish it today, it was one extra day. Kayla from Books and Lala is not going to come knocking on my door to yell at me for bending the rules. So yeah, those are the reading plans currently. I haven't completed a prompt yet. Those would be the first two that I complete. And then after I complete those, we'll pick my next book, which I have no idea what I'm going to read next, but I have to pick something. But yeah, other than that, I will just be vlogging my week this week, my very boring life that we all know that I have, but I will be vlogging regardless. We also have the Grammys this Sunday, which is kind of exciting because BTS are nominated, so that's kind of nice that it's happening during the BTS Readathon. Hopefully they win. I know Taylor Swift, who is like the other half of my personality traits, she's nominated for the same award, but she's also nominated for other things too, so I really want BTS to win that, and then Taylor can win everything else. Like, I'm not gonna be mad if Taylor wins that one, but like, I really want BTS to win. That's the only nomination they have, and they just deserve it so much. So we will be watching the Grammys this Sunday. I will be stressed. I will be freaking out. I think both Taylor Swift and BTS are performing, so I'm gonna be just the most annoying person on Grammy Day, basically. But yeah, I think that that is everything I wanted to start off this vlog with. So welcome to a new weekly vlog, the first weekly vlog for the BTS Readathon, week 2. And yeah, I will talk to you guys when I've made some more progress in my books. Hopefully I can get some prompts done this week. Okay, it's been a while since I've done a weekly vlog. I forgot that I was filming this, so I didn't film anything else yesterday other than the intro. Hello. The good news is I did complete 2 prompts for the readathon. So I completed the singularity prompt with Chain of Iron, which I just wrapped up my vlog for this, which will be up by the time this vlog goes up. So if you want to go and hear all my spoilery thoughts, that's the place to do it. But I completed the singularity prompt with Chain of Iron, and then I also finished This Time Will Be Different by Misa Sugiura, and I think I'm counting that for the reflection prompt. I feel like it might be a bit of a stretch, but I also feel like it kind of works, so I'm counting it. But I feel like I'm doing well. I've gotten 2 prompts done with only the first week of the month, so I'm thinking I might be able to complete all the books on my TBR, but we'll see. Famous last words. So after finishing those 2 books yesterday, I did start the audiobook for The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter. I keep getting that title really confused in my brain. Oh, the app crashed. Thank you. The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. That is it. So I'm listening to the audiobook for that, and I feel like I'm gonna have to like really be in like a good mindset and like be able to focus when I listen to that audiobook, because I think it's like 2 characters are kind of narrating the book. It's like they're writing the book, but then they have like the characters kind of interjecting with what they should be writing and stuff. So it is really cool, but I feel like that might get confusing if I'm not paying attention. So I definitely need to be like really focused when listening to that audiobook. But other than that, I was thinking about picking up a physical book from my TBR. The problem is I'm still in the middle of Concrete Rose, which I started last month, and I really just want to like finish it because I was really enjoying it. I literally just put it down because it was a buddy read, so we weren't really communicating, me and my friend Franny, who I'm buddy reading it with. And then I think A Court of Silver Flames came out, and then I was rereading Chain of Gold and then Chain of Iron, so it just kept getting pushed back. But I definitely want to finish that, so maybe I'll just pick that up really quickly and try and get that done. And I already looked, it could literally count for the prompts that I've already completed, but no other prompts, so that's not helpful. But I might try and read that and finish that before I pick up another physical book, but we'll see what I end up doing. I do have my pile of my TBR here. So I have Red Queen, The Tea Dragon Society, Anxious People, and The Last Magician. I was going to count Starfish for the reflection prompt, but now I feel like I've completed it. So this is going to be like last priority for the month because I don't really need to read that. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to pick up next, but I might just finish Concrete Rose while I think about it and see what I'm in the mood for after that, even though that technically isn't for the BTS Readathon. But yeah, I just wanted to give an update because again, I forgot how to weekly vlog. Now I'm going to go and edit my Chain of Iron vlog, probably for the next multiple hours, I'm sure. So I will probably check in with you guys once that's done and I'm actually like trying to read and do other stuff that's maybe exciting. I don't know. My life is not exciting. If you're not new to watching my channel, you know that already. Alright, so now we have even more of a dilemma on what I'm going to read next because my hold on I'll Be the One just came in and I was a little concerned that it wasn't going to come in on time, but it's here. She has arrived. And this is actually the group book for the readathon, and we're going to be doing a live show on Sasha's channel at the end of the month. So I could either start that or finish Concrete Rose first, then start that. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's now an option. So that's good. Adding more options when someone's already very indecisive. But I've just been editing my Chain of Iron vlogs. I'm going to go back to doing that because I'd like to get most of it done today. I don't know why I always feel like I need to edit everything like all at once, but that's the way I am. So I'm like halfway through what I have filmed, so we're getting there, but I definitely want to work on that some more, and then maybe I'll take a break to read later on. Read what? Don't know yet, but we'll see. Hello, it is now Wednesday? Yes, it's Wednesday. And I just got done filming a video, so I think I might start captioning my Chain of Iron vlog that I think I'm going to post tomorrow. I normally post on Fridays, but I'm really excited for this video, so I'm going to post it a day early. And honestly, I was thinking about if I was going to start posting like 1 to 2 times a week instead of doing Mondays and Fridays, doing Mondays and Thursdays. Does anyone care? Does anyone like have a preference on like days when people post? I feel like I looked at like my analytics to see like when my subscribers are on YouTube, but like, do people actually care? I don't know. But anyway, random side tangent over. I'm going to caption that video, but I do have a reading update for you guys actually. So I continued reading Concrete Rose yesterday. I think I was saying that I started this in February and then I just kind of put it off to the side, not intentionally, not for any reason. It was just like new releases and rereads and stuff kind of made me put this to the side. But I decided to pick it up yesterday and try and make some progress. So I'm now up to part 2, which is page 139. And I'm reading this really fast. Like I was on page like 90 something yesterday and I think I didn't read for very long because I was on Rachel's sprints, so like there was a lot of chatting in between. So I definitely think I could finish this relatively quickly, probably in the next couple of days, which would be great if I could get it done quickly because this isn't for the BTS Readathon and it can't count for any of the prompts. So the sooner it's done, the better, so then I can move on to my BTS Readathon TBR. But so far I am enjoying this. It's already quite emotional and I already cried. So we're doing well, but I am really enjoying it. And then this morning I was listening to The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter while I ate my breakfast. And I'm now up to chapter 2. The chapters in the audiobook are really long. Like the first chapter was 45 minutes, so that's kind of why I feel like it's taking me a while. I think I was also saying too, like I'm not the best with audiobooks, so I really need to be focusing on it. Like last night I put it on when I was just trying to like relax before going to sleep, and I think I ended up falling asleep. And I think I missed like a part of it, but it's okay. Also, another random side tangent. This morning when I was listening to the audiobook and I was filming that clip of my breakfast, I realized my coffee was kind of like awkwardly half in the shot and half not. So I was filming and I put the camera down. It was still recording, but I just put it down on the table. I didn't like slam it down. I just placed it there. I moved the coffee in closer and picked my camera up, and it was like this green staticky screen. So I don't know what that was about. I ended up having to take the battery out of the camera to get it to turn like just completely off. And then I put the battery back in and it seems to be working. I filmed a whole video and I think it worked. Like, I don't know, but I'm a little concerned because if this camera goes, I don't know what I would do. So let's hope it doesn't do anything or I can get a new camera. I don't know. I feel like that's something that I have been wanting to do, but now that little spooky scare that the camera gave me is kind of pushing me to get a new camera sooner rather than later. I mean, this camera is not the best camera and I've been using it heavily filming the past almost 2 years now, so I feel like it was just not made for what I've been using it for. So it's probably about time I get a new camera, like a better camera anyway, but I'm like, I have $3, so yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed that this camera just keeps it together and it continues to work until I'm ready to buy a new one, but we'll see. So yeah, other than that scary story about my camera, that's all I really have to say. That's all I really got an update for. I'm gonna go and caption that Chain of Iron vlog and hopefully do some more reading later. I feel like I could maybe finish this today. I'm almost halfway, I think. I don't know how many pages there are actually. There's 360, but I'm reading it really fast, so I feel like I could potentially finish this today. So I'm gonna go caption that video and then we'll see how far I can get into this. I once again forgot that I was vlogging. I vlogged my coffee this morning and then just it left the brain. So here's a reading update. Concrete Rose. Joke's on me for thinking I could finish that yesterday. I did not read a single page. So if that's not me in a nutshell, like, oh, I could totally read this, I could totally finish it, and then I just don't read. I feel like that's what we expect on this channel by now. Also, I am leaning over so you can see my cat. A precious sleepy baby. I also this morning started the group book for the BTS Readathon, which is I'll Be the One by Lila Lee. Basically, I'm in frantic mode and I'm just reading everything all at once because I don't know what I feel like reading because I have The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter on audiobook right now. I kind of started reading Concrete Rose again and then I now started I'll Be the One, so I don't know what's going on with my brain. But I only read like a chapter of I'll Be the One, so I don't really have a lot of thoughts so far. I mean, it's fine so far. I definitely have seen that there's a lot of really good discussions in this book about the K-pop industry and also like the plus size representation as well as the LGBTQ plus representation as well as like just like the K-pop industry and kind of all of that stuff that comes along with that. So I'm really excited to read it. Obviously, I'm not going to be an Own Voices reviewer for this book, so I'm going to do my best to be considerate, but I'm really excited to get more into it. I've been wanting to read this basically since it came out, so I'm very excited that I'm finally reading it. But yeah, like I said, I'm only a chapter in. I just wanted to start it because I realized like I only have it for 11 days, and considering how I'm reading right now, I just wanted to make sure that I got it done and I would have it read in time for the live show, which we still don't know when that's happening, but again, we have a Twitter account, so we'll keep you guys updated there. And I've also still been listening to The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, but I haven't gotten that far into it. I think I'm on like chapter 2 or chapter 3. So I read the first 2 chapters. I'm about to start chapter 3. So I'm 10% into it. I think the thing with this is, like I've said a million times, audiobooks I have a very difficult time, and this story I feel like is one that I could get very confused with if I wasn't completely focused. So I've just been listening to it like while I'm in bed in the morning, like trying to wake up, or like at night before I go to sleep, and also like while I've just been like eating and just doing things where I'm just sitting there. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting so far. I feel like all the books that I'm reading right now, I'm still kind of towards the beginning, so I don't have a whole lot of thoughts. But yeah, I think I'm going to focus, I know I said I was going to focus on Concrete Rose, but I think I'm going to focus on I'll Be the One just to make sure I get that done. And I have a feeling that's going to go quick, so I'll probably read that, then go back to Concrete Rose while continuing to listen to the Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter audiobook. That's also due in 10 days, so I probably should get that done as well and get farther than 10% into it. I think that that's really it. That's really all I have to say. If I just keep recording, I'll just end up babbling about everything else going on in my life, which nobody cares. So I'm gonna go back to working on some videos and editing and stuff, and hopefully I will actually get some reading done today because I did not get a whole lot done yesterday. I have showered. I'm feeling fresh, motivated to get some stuff done today. I apologize if you can hear anything in the background. I feel like because the nicer weather, people have been doing like yard work, or I don't know, my neighbors are there's something happening. I can't see anything, but there's just been noise basically all day so far today, and it started yesterday, so if I waited for that to finish, I would never be able to vlog again. So to give an update on I'll Be the One, let me open the app. I'm at chapter 6, so I'm 52 pages in of 278, so I feel like this is gonna go pretty quickly if I like stay focused. Now that I'm a few chapters into I'll Be the One, I feel like I can give some initial thoughts. So far we've just seen the main character audition to be a part of this K-pop like competition type of thing, and of course she got in because that's like the main plot of this book, is that she's a part of this K-pop competition. And I definitely think there's going to be a lot of really good discussions in this book about Korean culture and the K-pop industry and the way they view plus size people, as well as people who are a part of the LGBTQ plus community. I definitely think there's going to be a lot of really good discussions on that, so I'm excited to continue reading and see more of that. I think my biggest thing right now is just like the writing style and like the dialogue and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of the writing is just very like cheesy, kind of like the dialogue seems very like cheesy and just a bit juvenile in a way, and obviously there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you enjoy, and this is a young adult novel, so like the fact that it's juvenile is probably just like, I'm just used to young adult being more new adult, but it's labeled as young adult, so like that might be on me. So yeah, the writing style is kind of just not really for me, but I'm still excited to continue on and see the discussions that happen in this book, as well as like the romance. I think there's a romance in this, so I'm excited to see how we feel about that. So yeah, those are kind of my initial thoughts. So far, I'm feeling very meh, like very average. Like if I had to give it a rating on the first 5 chapters, which wouldn't be fair, but a rating on the first 5 chapters, I'd probably give it like a 3-star. But yeah, that's kind of all I have for a reading update. I've listened to like a chapter more of the Alchemist's Daughter. What is it? The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter. I'm going to learn the title of that book eventually. So I think I'm up to like chapter 4 of that book now. But I'm planning on doing 1 laundry and 2 cleaning my room today. So I might try and listen to it while I do that. My room has gotten to the point where it's so messy that I'm just like overwhelmed and don't really know where to start. So I've just been like ignoring it, but it's really bad and I really need to do laundry, so it's time. So I probably will try and listen to my audiobook while I do that, but I'm the type of person that loves music when I do these types of things. I love music to motivate me. It's like what I need. And even though it would probably make sense for me to listen to BTS while I do these things because of, you know, this readathon, the whole theme of this vlog, I've been in a wicked nostalgia kick. It all kind of started like almost a week ago, probably at this point, where I saw a tweet about the band All-Star Weekend, and I don't know if anyone knows who they are, if anyone knows who I'm talking about. Rachel will, but that's it. But I saw a tweet about All-Star Weekend, and so now I've like been listening to them, and it just kind of spiraled into me listening to music that I listened to in like late middle school, early high school, and I've recently been revisiting one of my favorite bands who actually like disbanded in like 2015, and I haven't listened to their music since that ended because it made me too sad. Like I could not listen to their music without crying, so this is like the first time in 6 years almost that I'm listening to them, and it's been a ride, but I'm in this nostalgic trip now, so that's where I'm at. So I think what I'm gonna do to reward myself after I'm done cleaning my room is look through old like concert videos and concert pictures and stuff, and just like feed this nostalgic thing that I'm going through. So yeah, I probably will just end up listening to old music while I clean my room, but I'm gonna try to do the audiobook. We'll start out with the audiobook and we'll see how long it lasts. So yeah, now I'm just putting off starting to clean my room by talking to you guys about all these bands that I've loved that have broken up. BTS, don't even think about it. Not yet anyway. I'm not mentally prepared for that. Okay, for real, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna stop procrastinating, and hopefully the next time I talk to you guys, I've actually made some progress in a book. Anyone. I'm not picky. I just want to read. Period.
You turn the salad into a and the Grammy goes to Folklore Taylor
Alright, hello. I'm really bad at this vlogging thing. It's been a while since I've done regular weekly vlogs, so it's now Tuesday. I was supposed to end this vlog yesterday and start a new one, and I didn't do that, so I'm ending it now. So just like a quick little recap of the past week, I completed the first 2 prompts for the readathon. At the beginning of the week, I completed Chain of Iron, which was the singularity prompt. And then I also completed This Time Will Be Different, which I think I'm using for the reflection prompt. And then I also finished the group book, which is I'll Be the One by Lila Lee. So we are going to be doing a whole live show for this group book. So I don't want to give too many of my thoughts because I feel like I'll talk about it a lot in depth in the live show. And I also am still doing monthly wrap-ups for now, while I still enjoy doing them. So I probably will talk about it in there as well. But I will say that how I kind of felt about the beginning of it, like how I kind of felt very meh, kind of lasted throughout the whole thing. I think I'm gonna give it a 3-star rating. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. I will say, first and foremost, I'm obviously not an Own Voices reviewer for any aspect of this book, and I don't want to be disrespectful towards that, but I also don't want to make it sound like the representation in this book is not so important and so needed. Like, I just can't imagine how much people might see like this cover and feel when they see themselves represented in this cover and in this story, and I just think that's so important. And I honestly think a lot of the representation, how our main character was a plus size Korean girl trying to make it in the K-pop industry, and she's also bisexual, so there was just some great rep in here. I think a lot of the discussions that kind of came with that and surrounding that were so important and like my favorite aspect of this book. I just didn't really love the writing style, which made it pretty difficult for me to like love it. And because of the writing, I feel like it made the characters feel not like real people. Like, I feel like they kind of had like 1 or 2 distinct personality traits, and then that was it. And I don't want to say like I didn't relate to the characters, because obviously like it's not me that's being represented in this book, and I don't want it to come across like, well, it's not relatable to me, so I don't like it. I liked all of the representation in this book because there's a bunch of side characters who are also part of the LGBTQ plus community, so that was great as well. It was more so just I don't feel like there was a whole lot to necessarily the personalities of the characters. Like, they had like 1 distinct personality trait and then that was it. It was mostly just like the writing, though. I feel like it was a bit juvenile, which like it is a young adult book, so maybe that's just not for me in this aspect. I don't know, maybe it's just I'm a bit older, but yeah, it just kind of felt a bit like juvenile, a bit cheesy. It also felt very like repetitive because things would be described at the beginning of the book, and then instead of just like referencing that, it would just be described like all over again. But I did like a lot of the discussions in this book, and also like the plot of it. The whole book is about this like K-pop competition, so I really enjoyed that aspect. So yeah, it was pretty average. There were pros and cons. I feel like I'm mostly just disappointed because I was so excited for this book. I've been looking forward to reading this one since it came out last year, so I think that's part of the reason why I feel so sad about it and like disappointed, because I was just so excited for it. But yeah, it was pretty average for me. 3-star probably. I would still definitely recommend it. I think, you know, such diverse stories are so important. It's important to read from authors and read about experiences that are not relatable to you and not your experiences, so I definitely would still recommend if it interests you. But yeah, we're having a whole like live discussion on that book, so I'll go more in depth of my thoughts in there. But other than that, I'm still reading Concrete Rose. I'm like halfway through now, so we're making progress slowly but surely, and I'm enjoying this. So I don't know why it's taking me so long to just read it. I think I'm just like not in the mood to pick up a book and read right now, so maybe that's why. And then other than this, I'm still listening to the audiobook for The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, and I'm also slowly making my way through. I think I'm like a third of the way through, so hopefully in next week's vlog I will complete those things. Only time will tell. So yeah, that was kind of a reading recap for the past week. Other than that, the Grammys happened because I was filming my reaction, so figured I could just very quickly talk about that. At the beginning of this vlog, I was so excited because BTS were nominated and I thought they were gonna win. They did not. And it's gonna be so frustrating because I feel like the narrative's gonna become like the fangirls are upset that their celebrity crushes didn't win a Grammy when it's like, that's not why we're mad. There's a lot of issues within this industry. There's a lot of racism within this industry. That's why we're upset. But like, anyway. And it's hard because like, I'm so happy that Taylor Swift won Album of the Year, but like, I feel like I'm just having a lot of conflicted feelings because like, I'm happy Taylor Swift won, but there's also so many issues with the Grammys. So it's like, I don't know. But I will say BTS, their performance of Dynamite was excellent. Made us wait the whole entire show for it to come up, but it was worth the wait. It was excellent. And then Taylor Swift's performance, her Grammy performances are always so good. And I'm not speaking English. I called it like a week or so, maybe before the Grammys. I was like, she's gonna do a medley. It's gonna be the 3 songs from the Love Triangle from Folklore. And I was like, kind of right. It was a medley and it had 2 of the 3 songs from the Love Triangle on Folklore. But that means that one of the songs she performed was August. The whole week leading up to the Grammys, I was like, she's gonna perform August. She's gonna perform August. She's gonna perform it. It's gonna happen. And then she did, and I was still not prepared. No amount of mental preparation would have prepared me for hearing August. Imagine me hearing that live, like me being there and hearing it. I'd be so annoying. But yeah, BTS and Taylor Swift, their performances were chef's kiss. They were excellent. Sad we didn't get an interaction between them because of Miss Rona, but maybe next year. Alright, it's time for me to wrap up this vlog. I've been babbling long enough. I will be continuing to vlog. I'm vlogging this week again, so definitely stick around so you can keep up with what I'm up to, but that is going to complete this vlog. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.